I'm sorry,
They
production.
keep baiting everyone as well. Oh, they're coming close. Like, they're across the river from each other.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They were close. They were close.
Yeah, but they're always close, and they never die, Mike. They never die because they hear you say that they're close.
Fault. That's my fault.
Oh, we heard this dumb Australian talking. He says we're close by. Let's pull back, guys. No, everyone knows this. It's known.
Yeah. No need to make fun of my nationality, Jonathan. We do have an Australian in the game after all as well. In case you weren't aware, of course, Januel playing the Phoenix here today. Also known as Jack Januel Williams, Jonathan, an Australian Dota 2 player currently playing for Team SMG, known as Australia's last Dota player. When he's not playing scrims, he enjoys smashing VBs and driving V8s. He's locally famous for controlling wildlife by showing them his incredible mullet. So there you go, Jonathan. Don't you ever talk about Australia like that again in front of Januel.
Yeah, I like the meme, but KP is literally Australian.
What meme? Like. What? KP? What are you talking about? KP's Filipino. Danila K. Pinoy Carlos is a Filipino player originating from the Davao region, believe it or not, Jonathan. Known as Mindanao's worst durian salesman, K. Pinoy decided to pursue his dreams in Dota 2. When he's not playing Dota, he enjoys training by climbing Mount Apo in preparation of carrying his team uphill. How dare you insinuate that K. Pinoy is not Filipino? How dare you?
All right.
Do you know anything, Jonathan? Is this your first day on SCA or what?
Calm down. I see you've learned how to Control-C, Control-V. Very impressive, Mike.
I wrote
5 years of us working together.
I wrote these out, just so you know. By the way.
Oh, you actually read and then typed them?
I did.
It's a lot of effort, Mike.
These are mine, Jonathan. These are mine. KP gets a bounty rune. He's got 4 bounty runes, in fact, for Blacklist Rivalry. 4 bounty runes to start things off. A fantastic start.
And that's pretty worrying, having this initial gold injection onto something like the Invoker, who can get double bracer very fast. That is going to be a lot of stats you're going to have to contend with on mid, even though it's not going to line up necessarily for a quicker bottle here for Carl. I'm taking a look at that mid for no one. Again, it's not the toughest lane in the world for the Invoker. It is manageable, but it's also not the worst for no one once levels are up. You can just kind of farm the creep wave and try to roll aggressively, look for the kickbacks we've seen a couple of times before. But the range advantage for Carl, the fact that he's universal with a double circlet, double iron branch start, it will feel oppressive from a distance. And I'm really keen to see how much no one can get done, because we've seen him in some tough matchups before, but doesn't seem to phase the guy.
Certainly doesn't. No one and Carl going to be going at it. No one should have a pretty decent time. I do agree. I don't think there's going to be too much in the way of stopping him. Of course, down at bottom lane, you are looking at Raven, of course, Bosku against Masaros and Arfu. Bosku playing the Bat Rider, position 5 today. Not so much the Invoker that he was playing just earlier on. Against Geek Fam, of course. Raven on the Gyrocopter. I mean, pretty standard kind of carry here. We've seen Gyrocopter plenty of times. I wonder how it does against Lifestealer, though. I guess that's one thing we haven't had the pleasure of seeing quite yet throughout the qualifiers. Like, is Lifestealer just a meta hero now? Like, could it be possibly back? We'll see. Is Masaros going to get chased down a little bit? We'll be okay.
Fine. And again, it's a little bit more passive for your Doom lane here. You're going to want to hit, like, level 2, level 3. Level 3, probably, and level 2 on Afu at the very least to try to play into. Gyro and Bat, they've got the range advantage. You've got the spell harassment from Cuckoo down the line. And Raven is more than comfy just farming up. You are seeing a little bit of that aggression onto no one. He is still controlling the wave well with his wave clear, but certainly copying a lot of harassment out from Carl. He does have his 1 bracer up. So again, the right-click damage of this Invoker. Level 3, 70 plus 3 damage. Very nice hero.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, it makes sense lore-wise, Jonathan. He's a universal hero. He literally made the unit, or does something with the universe. I can't remember, Jonathan.
Wow.
I can't remember the lore.
That's some great lore.
He's doing something. He's doing something.
It's like you never even watched book 2 or 3, Mike.
I
did. The Dota anime.
I did. Okay. Don't put me on show. I did watch it. I got a little bit bored with the daughter storyline. I'm not going to lie. You know, you know, Invoker.
Yeah, being a father yourself, it would be very boring, huh? I see where this is going, Mike. Huh. Oh, no, you just posted her picture on Facebook, too. Wow.
Top lane, mid one. Going to fight over the Lotus Pool, but Tim's is able to get it. Very, very nice. That's the one lane we haven't really talked about too much. KP and Tim's, of course, against mid one and Genuel. What do you reckon about this lane? Like, I think the Lifestealer pick was a very strong pick against the Dawnbreaker. We'll see if he can catch mid one out. It's going to be kind of hard with the rage up. Mid one, he takes a lot of damage, but is going to be perfectly fine to walk away.
Still finding some decent farm in this lane, not completely shoved away. He is going to have to play around Rage for sure. There's a lot more aggression that can line up here from Blacklist's end. As you can see, every single time KP can just land the hammer and Starbreaker, and he's feeling pretty happy. Wave control is pretty on point though, so again, you're not losing out much. I think down the line is what I'm really interested to see. Like, what's the build for mid one? Is it going to be some like the Armlet, Maelstrom, or Desolator build? They're starting to get aggressive bot though.
Oh, they certainly are. Massaros, though, is perfectly fine thanks to the stomp of Arfu. And Bosku was trying to get the damage out with the Firefly level 2, but could not continue to chase him down. It is a pretty challenging lane for the offlane dude. Right, because you've got to be worried about this homing missile spam, you've got to be worried about the Firefly damage. He does at least have the Ring of Health, so can build into the Vanguard and should be relatively safe, but in terms of farm, it is a little bit of a slower start for Massaros. Not really too much you can do about it.
The Doom will eventually just recover. He is queuing up the Midas anyway, so he understands he's in for a slower time on this Doom. Just look to farm. Can't really contest too hard.
KP.
Allow the Jar to just kind of get a little bit here.
KP's running across the map, just being chased by mid one. Now no one's thinking about coming up, though he might just be going for the power, rather bounty rune to be fair, but he is around the corner. If Genuel does need some assistance, and it seems like no one is slowly creeping his way up, Tim's gonna just TP away, and no one... He had already used the roll to get the bounty rune, so could not roll to stop the TP, sadly. He was actually 2 seconds off the cooldown.
It's a little bit short, but you're wasting some time. You're more than happy. The laning phase is going out a little bit smoother for Blacklist overall in CS. Like, this start for Raven in comparison to mid-win start is quite massive, and the Gyrocopter will flash farm faster than the Lifestealer for sure. So you are set to have this early tempo that can come out from your safe if Raven did want to go for the faster build. But we'll see down the line. No pressure yet. No one? Let's lose all his mana.
Certainly does. It's not a very nice experience for the Earth Spirit, I'll tell you. Does have a bottle at least, so we'll get enough to roll away if he needs it. Arfu was rotating as well, just in case he needed it, but Arfu now will back off as Bosku was chasing him down. But they are still going to try and fight over the 6-minute power room timings, of course. No one definitely wants that. Carl maybe not so much, but does want to deny it away from the Earth Spirit as they do get a lag spike. I can confirm I also got that lag spike.
That is laggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. In fact, I'll take this moment to say something. I wish I could send you the video ASAP in Discord, but my minimap is glitched to hell. Every
is it really?
icon is constantly growing big and small, and then Zhao's Phoenix is just constantly shocking my screen. Literally, it's lightning sparks from his particle effects going into my face. I'm not
literally from the mullet. It's just the mullet, John. You've got to accept that.
It's just flickering everywhere. I mean,
it's
I literally can't watch minimap. It's fine. It's fine. This is just my pub games. So they go down bot.
Massaros, he's going to drop. Arfu, unable to save Bosku, running. Meanwhile, Raven actually does go down to Genuel, who rotates in the Phoenix. Bosku's still running. Arfu on the chase. Should eventually have him, but not before Cuckoo gets his courier. So there you go. You kill Cuckoo, you kill Raven. They get Massaros, but still a very good trade for SMG.
Really worthwhile rotation. Understanding that there's no real kill threat onto mid one just because of that rage. 20-second cooldown. The window is wide enough for him to kind of just dodge and farm. So you can't afford to just try to play aggressive. Cuckoo, they go a little bit too far forward with the aggression, and they're going to go again on SMG.
They're going to try, but the stomp does not land from Arfu. So no real setup there to follow up on. But they are doing a very good job of now forcing Raven away and just not letting him feel very comfortable in this bottom lane. I think they might just stick around as 3. Like, Zhao's going to go back for the Wisdom Rune. But I don't really see him leaving, because mid one doesn't need the help up at top lane. Mid one's at that stage on the Lifestealer where he can just sustain himself throughout this laning stage, and KP can't really do much about it. So the Phoenix may as well just stay bottom and just kind of haunt Raven.
Keep applying that pressure, try to slow down this Gyrocopter, because it doesn't take too much for the Gyro to really eclipse this Lifestealer in farm. So you kind of want to put the lid on it, try to manage it as best as possible.
See, I hate this. You drain his mana, and he's already used roll, but because he has no mana now, he stops? Or is that just the cold snap making him stop? I can't even tell anymore.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I've seen that a couple of times, and quite frankly, it's really hard to watch, especially when Johnny Wells nearby. Particle effects just fly everywhere. I literally can't see a single thing. I'll show you. This is exactly how I want to watch my best of 5 grand finals. This is Southeast Asia.
No one's being chased down. Carl's going to go for the chase because Bosku is here, but no one is going to just roll north and he will be okay. Very nice roll away from no one. And you look at Carl's CS now on the Invoker. He's top of the CS board on that Voker, and looks like he's already going to be set up to have a very good game as he's going to TP down to bottom lane where Massaros is going to be hunted by the looks of it. Carl in the Ghost Walk, not going to make it too obvious, though it seems like Massa probably will know now. As the creeps do get slowed down, this will result to nothing. And Carl, he'll just run back to the mid lane. He's seen enough. Mid lane, perhaps they could think about no one if they really want to, but it's just not an easy target.
No, yeah, you have to align all your stuns perfectly. And they know something's up with everyone missing on the map, like the supports aren't showing up. They are trying to clump around KP, but the Dawnbreaker's also not the easiest. Your lockdown's not consistent here from SMG for these pickoffs unless no one shows up. They might be able to collapse around mid still, though.
That they may. Tim's gonna see the Phoenix, so will KP. Big group up from SMG. They want to go right now. KP, he'll get stumped up. Arfu, he blocks their way. He cuts them off. KP, though, gets to the low ground, but it is still not going to be enough. He will drop, but they do find Januel as a trade. Can they get any more, though? Cuckoo's still chasing. He wants Arfu. Arfu going to try for the TP play away, and Carl has nothing to cancel. No spells to throw out. Even Tim's had the lift on cooldown.
Rather unfortunate. A core for support trade in the favor of SMG. We finally get some activity out from no one as well. So he's got some charges to play with if he wants to keep this aggression up. And they could. They're starting to approach these level 6 marks on the support. Zhao's Egg's going to be massive for this one. And the Earth Splitter is not something to be underestimated as well. Like, this Egg Earth Splitter combo can be devastating.
Nice juke by Tims, but he is probably still just gonna die. Though no, here comes KP with the Solar Guardian. KP, he'll go on to no one. They'll try to drain his mana. No one. Which way he'll go? It looks like it's just down. So he will die, and now Januel also getting caught by the tornado of Carl. As Januel trying to help out will lose his life, and Cuckoo, of all people, will take both kills.
Cuckoo takes credit, Cuckoo takes fault. He finds both of them for that action coming out. Of course, it was Tim's kind of cheating around, but you know, what can a lowly Rubik do in the presence of Cuckoo's Batrider?
That's right.
And a 4-3 start. Then this is what we're talking about, right? You make a move across the map, you try to commit. It's easy to block the Earth Spirit from escapes now, as you just stand in front and hey, you're not rolling anywhere. Then you get the backup from KP. And no one is fairly tanky. You saw how long it took to kill him, but we mentioned those level 6s of the supports lining up. They need to have those 6s on hand. They want to contest like that. Without them, the team fights can fall a little bit flat if it is kind of fragmented like this. If you're coming in one by one, you need all of these tools ready, and Blacklist are in a better position for now to try and punish enemy overextensions. And while that happens, you're getting free space for Raven to farm. I mean, you can argue that mid one's getting the same room out, but look at the CS. 100 up for Raven, around 58 for mid one. Yeah. This is not going to get any easier for the Lifestealer. You just don't flash farm in the same pace as a Gyro.
It's classic Gyrocopter gameplay. Like, it's so hard to keep up with this hero, and naturally when you're playing Gyrocopter, your team is going to want to stack a lot. So you're going to get a lot of farmers. Now Cuckoo, even bringing an extra creep, it seems, as Arfu does get caught. +1, why not? Cuckoo will take it. That's mine, thank you. What course?
Just call Afu a creep.
Well, yeah, it was a pun, Jonathan. I didn't mean it insultingly. It's because they were farming creeps, John. Goodness me.
Taking things out of context, Mike.
You really do. You like to get me in trouble. Massaros, he's in trouble now.
Oh.
Massa's gone. Nice rotations from Carl once again, and John, he's very close to the vessel timing now. About 300 gold away for the Invoker Spirit Vessel. And that, it really starts to hurt once he has this up.
It's just ridiculous what you can do with EMP. You saw Masa pumping the Doom out, wanting to try to at least get a spell use so they can mass TP on him after he dies. But EMP kicks in, guess what? No mana. You just can't play into these ganks.
Arthur gonna get ganked now as well. Blacklist Rivalry, my goodness. Here I was thinking SMG were gonna play aggressively with this draft, but they're the ones trying to play defensively right now as Blacklist are just running circles around them. And speaking of vessels, by the way, no one has one on the way. So perhaps around that time where no one will start to make the call that he wants to go fight. Because now the Earth Spirit timing is here. And here we go. Smoke is out. Down towards the bottom lane. Masros needs some help. He'll get stunned up by KP and Mass is gone. But here comes mid one. They've shown they want to fight. Roll out. They'll catch Tims on the Rubik. Tims should go down, but he's still got to help around the corner. The problem is they've left him. Tims, he'll be forced to run by himself, but he's down. SMG at least getting some form of a trade, but it's not a very good one.
Definitely not. And you have to drag in mid one to take activity here as well. So that's time where he's not farming. Granted, the Lifestealer does want to try to run down, especially with the Earth Spirit combination with the Infest. Finding these supports, it doesn't make it worthwhile. You're not pressuring Raven either. Like, Raven's not in that part of the map. He's farming. Yeah, you learn the hard way, right? Like, he's trying to find farm food to hit his level 6 timing. Pretty classic to run to the mid lane and soak that XP, but Carl, every time he sees him, just runs right towards the Elder Titan, knowing there's no way Arfu can survive that as, here we go. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, you just noticed? Yeah, we're all, it's all of us, by the way. New update on the SEA Grand Finals, classic.
Oh, I'm loving this. This is, we'll find out if we can reconnect, of course.
I thought this to myself. Today. I wake up, I open my phone, I log onto Twitter, I see someone say, oh, the new update's great, look at these chests. I go, wow, these look amazing. Look at all the waifus we have now on the chest. Well, I can't wait to open up 50 to get the AM persona. And then what happens, John? My mind goes, wait a minute. Grand Finals are on today. This has happened before. SEA Grand Finals is always an update that happens for TI before we get to this stage, and I did ask for a long Grand Finals, Jonathan. I didn't mean it in this way.
Hopefully it's just me, but I cannot reconnect. So
it's not just you, sweetie. It is not just you.
All right.
And we've got confirmation nobody can.
Exciting. I am so excited. What a way to go. This is outstanding.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Welcome to the John X Mike podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We've taken over. The Grand Finals are on hiatus until further notice. You have our ugly mugs to look at till then. Jonathan, how are you feeling? Like, while we've got a chance, you saw the playoffs, right? Like, my goodness, I don't think... I personally can't say I was quite expecting SMG to get this far, but props to them. They've been looking fantastic. Blacklist, on the other hand, I somewhat expected to be able to make their way through to the finals, and, long and behold, they have. The playoffs play out the way you thought they would so far?
Somewhat. I think SMG definitely is the one that has been a little bit more surprising. They've managed to hold themselves together. And I think I not really too much there. I think Blacklist, the improvements were always lined up, but so far, I think we had more surprises that could have come out. Like, say, if Boom made it all the way, I mean, that would have been like no one would have placed Boom in Grand Finals. So it doesn't happen. But there were more surprises. This is not the most shocking result, I suppose.
Well, Don, we've gotten a call here. We're going to have to throw to a break for 5 minutes, and right after that break, we're hopefully going to have a resolution as to what's happened with this game. But we'll head to a break, and right after that break, we'll be back with hopefully game number 1. We'll see you then. Here we go.
I don't know why I'm so happy. I think this is a sign from Valve that I have to buy more treasures. Oh,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are officially here, back into game number 1. It is MLP Dota and John X5. Jonathan, we have some updating to do. We could not reconnect to game number 1, sadly, so the game has been remade, and we are starting from minute 0. Are we?
not.
No, we're not. We're not
We're
starting
at
from minute. Thank
14.
goodness. Thank goodness.
Dare you, Mike?
Wow.
We have the power.
I asked
Power
you.
is there.
All right, go on, John. You explain it then.
You've loaded back in. That's all there is.
Excellent.
We have the ability.
We're not restarting the
have the
game.
ability.
Ignore what I said. We're not restarting the game. We're starting back where it stopped at 14 minutes. Anyone wondering why we had that bug? We don't know, but I think we can all confirm it probably was Cuckoo's fault. So let's just say that
Yes.
Cuckoo's fault once again. Always Cuckoo's fault. What can you do? John, you had a good excuse. You did say maybe you should have bought more treasures. I agree with
Yes.
you. You know, but
Yes.
couple more treasures before TI never hurts you, Jonathan. Take out the wallet, you know, get spending, sir. There's anime waifus to be secured here in the chest.
I mean, you know, everyone's looking at AM, everyone's looking at Marcy. Snapfire, though. That snail, man. I need that little snail, that little grubby snail. He has a little slime trail when he moves around. You know what else leaves a slime trail? A game of Dota 2. And we should be ready to go into that game. 14 minutes on the clock. Everything else but their positions have held steady. And we are going in. So, yeah, we have the power, Mike. In
We
any
have the
other
power.
time, this would have been a disaster, but this is perfectly fine. Wisdom runes, well, the SMGs did spawn. Yeah, wisdom runes are still there. All right. They
Okay.
did spawn. There you go.
Very nice. We are 14 and a half minutes, so it makes enough sense. We got some wisdom runes. That's fine. So we are going to have a pause. What's the problem, Januel?
Cuckoo's fault.
Cuckoo's fault. But fix your problem, Januel. Come on now. Look who you're next to. Can I reconnect with no problems? Phoenix bug again. What's the Phoenix bug? What have I done?
Fair.
Oh, the Phoenix skin
so
lights.
I think it's the
Okay.
thing I had. Yeah. So you saw the clip I sent a few of his lights everywhere.
Yeah.
And the minimap flickering. I still have the minimap flickering. I'm not sure about the Phoenix lights, but
That's okay.
that minimap flickering is.
That's okay. This is all. It's a feature, Jonathan. It's a feature.
I just need that chest, Mike.
Yeah.
I just need that chest.
Oh, you
Give that a shot.
buy right now. Maybe it'll fix the problem. Just buy an extra chest. It might fix the problem.
It's Cuckoo's fault, and it's my fault. Cuckoo probably didn't touch that treasure. You know who touched the treasure? KP. He has that new Dawnbreaker set.
Oh, he does
pretty
too.
sick.
Very nice, KP. There you go. Had to sell a few durian to get these sets, but that's okay.
What,
got-
Durian? I thought he's unsuccessful
He wasn't
to save his life.
He's the worst salesman, Jonathan, but he managed to sell a few for the sake of the treasures.
Probably just forced his family to buy some of his stock. Who wouldn't like some durian? If you're selling it, your family probably wants some. So there you go. You always have family to turn to.
Did I tell you I tried durian?
Have you actually?
I actually went.
We were in Singapore or Malaysia.
No. I tried it here in Sydney, believe it or not, at a food
That's
market.
a mistake. Yeah, no, that's a mistake.
It wasn't bad. I don't know what
Yeah,
people
but
are carrying
it's
on
even
about.
better. It's really sweet when you have it like fresh off the tree in season.
Okay.
Which it kind of is in season now. We've had a few durians. It's been really
Okay.
tasty. And what's tasty is having a game. This is tasty.
Save me a durian, John. The Phoenix bug is still here by the looks of it. That's okay.
You live with it. You know, it's a feature, not a bug.
That look at this.
This is
New cosmetic.
free flashbang. Free flashbang.
Yeah, it's CS2. This is it. Here we go.
Oh my goodness. This is it.
This is the
This is
CS2
what I've
beta.
been waiting for.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm finally in. Can we play Dust 2 instead? What is this map? Recognize this map?
You know what? You just came up with one of the greatest ideas. New map idea. Literally make it Dust 2 themed. That would be amazing. The best crossover for Dota 2. Valve, if you're listening, you're welcome for the $3. Please make it happen.
Oh yeah, I mean CS2 is launching soon. Maybe this is the new big
Best idea I've heard you say.
promotional event we'll have, Mike.
like
I'd love to play.
Barbie and Oppenheimer once again. Carl? Carl's okay. He's stomped up for now, but they don't have the vision. So in that Ghost Walk, he's just going to casually walk out. What is the state of the game? With a 4K advantage for Blacklist Rivalry, and enough jokes, Jonathan. My goodness, we're in a grand final here. They are still 4K ahead on Blacklist. So they are the ones setting the tempo on this game, where SMG, the ones playing behind for now. But they have hit that little bit of a spike with the Earth Spirit Vessel, right? So it's around that time where SMG are going to want to try and force some fights.
Yeah, they need to get some action on the map. They are giving a lot of space out to Raven. I like this movement from Blacklist, just playing elsewhere, dragging attention away, and getting a good jump here.
Mid lane, Genuel in trouble. Tornado will land. Vessel still going, though Genuel for now is going to survive. Though Sunstrike, and he gets hit. Oh, that's beautiful from Carl. That is a beautiful Sunstrike, and Genuel, he had no idea what was coming. Icarus got too close to the sun. Would you believe that, John?
I can. And Phoenix, you have to watch yourself or you get burned. And Carl Santino at it once more. He did, he tried a couple of Sunstrikes earlier on. There was a weird one down bot, but finally lands a nice one. The cleanup, getting a good read. And that's what we want to keep seeing from Blacklist. For SMG, they've got to find a way to play this game now. I mean, they've got the Vanguard up on Masuro so he can frontline a little bit. They've got the Egg and Earth Splitter ready to go. Well, no Earth Splitter yet. No value point being picked up by Afu. But they can sort of at least play with Phoenix Egg plus the Stomp. They've got some ways to protect that tool here.
Mid lane, set up again. Masarossi has not had an easy game one so far. Flamebreak will knock him back into the call down, and he has no play out of this. But Stomp is coming out from Afu. Cuckoo, however, just jumps in and finishes the job. But now Raven has been jumped himself. Solar Guardian going to come through to keep him alive, but Raven surely can't make it out. And he will drop. SMG with a great trade so far. Moving in onto Carl. Mid one wants to keep going. He's not done yet, but KP jumps in. Another great stop from Afu, stopping them in their tracks. As KP will drop, in comes Cuckoo again onto mid one. He'll at least get the trade. Take down the Lifestealer, but it's still a really, really good fight for SMG.
It is 3 cores for 2 cores in exchange. All the supports kind of getting out there alive. No one starting to show how strong this Earth Spirit can be played aggressively. And he's just showing up. All these rolls right in the dead center without any debuff immunity up yet for Blacklist. A massive nuisance that Earth Spirit is if you can't catch him off early. And that team fight does work in SMG's favor. They did have to pop the egg. Not the longest cooldown in the world, considering how long that fight lasted overall. Masa still has Doom to play with as well. You do have options. You're not scared of taking up these follow-up fights. Your momentum's coming out from no one, and even mid one's starting to show up, and that's him without the full Deso. He's not too far off from that full Desolator. Once that's up, the Infest plays with the Earth Spirit, the right-click output of mid one at this point in the game, it's going to be pretty hard to contest up against that.
Oh, absolutely. Mid one so far having a pretty damn good game. Obviously, net worth-wise, he's probably always going to be behind Raven, considering it is a gyrocopter matchup, but doesn't seem to need quite as much farm. Especially when you've got the vehicle in no one on that Earth Spirit, just being able to close the gap so easily for this Lifestealer. For now, they'll just sit back, relax. 12-7 with a 3k advantage, still standing for Blacklist Rivalry. You got the Deso up on mid one though. Like, he is hitting like a truck at the moment on this Lifestealer. So you wouldn't mind getting involved once again. And in fact, he's going to find a nice little haste rune, but he's going to stick to the farm game for now. Meanwhile, Blacklist Rivalry, they are moving up north. Masaros is farming that jungle area, the northern side of the map, but they don't seem to be able to spot him, and Massa, he has the wards anyway. Massa, gonna show up. Blacklist Rivalry, they're gonna jump in. There's the lasso out. They've caught the Doom. Masaros slowed up, but he has the pipe up. In fact, he's gonna turn around now and try to run.
Oh.
In comes mid one. They have caught the Invoker. Carl is gonna drop. Carl is down. Cuckoo does make it out. And so will the others, but not so much for Carl.
It's a massive punishment coming out from SMG. Again, utilizing this mobility, this infest bombing that they have ready to go. The aggression that can come out from SMG now is, again, really hard to counteract until some of these BKBs come out. You're probably going to need something like a BKB on your Invoker right now. Carl's just opting for that Force Staff first to have some way of distancing himself from the jump in. But if they find you, no one's been pretty on point with these rolls. It doesn't take too much for him to just roll onto the Invoker who's trying to spam spells in the backline. You have to try to find a way to protect that backline right now on Blacklist. Still, they should be feeling confident with the timings on Raven. His own BKB is not too far off. You did force out Doom, but Masaros has the Octarine up, so it's not the longest cooldown in the world. It's not as painful to wait for that to be up. And this is where it's a bit pivotal for Blacklist to slow this game down, because SMG they're firing on full cylinders. They don't want to necessarily take this game too late. They need to play around now till 30, 35, while they're massively stronger before any of these BKBs come out. And Blacklist have to watch which fights they take and find a way to fight back against that pressure without losing out on too much. Because again, they just keep grouping up. No one in mid one again, all together.
They are. The run towards the mid lane. No one having a look around through the Radiant jungle. Oh, he might find Carl. Carl invis for now. Not. Oh, but the roll! Oh, they don't have detection. They don't have detection. Carl's all right. Instead, they'll head up north. Cuckoo, he's around the corner. Cuckoo, he's been spotted. No one going for KP instead. KP. A lot of rolling going on, but no targets being found.
There's one thing that can bite SMG. If you waste too much time rolling around like that, again, you're getting out-farmed by Raven by a substantial amount. Full BKB now up for the gyro.
Oh. Cuckoo trying to be a little bit cheeky, jumping in for a lasso attempt. Won't find one yet, and now the stomp will lock him down, though they do four-star him away. No one's going to try and go onto Tim's. Here comes the Solar Guardian protecting Cuckoo, and Cuckoo, he'll get the lasso off at the last second onto Massaros. Massa is still fine, however, he'll walk away. 2 down for Blacklist Rivalry so far. In fact, make that 3. Raven, he's been left to run on his own, though he does have his BKB, so he will make it out. But they have lost 3 targets on Blacklist Rivalry, and SMG lose nothing.
Side of Blacklist again out of position. The Solar Guardian doesn't get fully channeled off by KP. It looked like a good jump in, but a couple of awkward things there. Cuckoo pushing mid one up onto the Gyrocopter, onto Raven in that chase bound, meant that Raven copped a few more hits than he would have cared for. Can't really look for the counterplay. Mid gets sieged, and there's not much you can do to stop this. Again, for the side of SMG, this is not a lineup that waits too long for these cooldowns. They just can keep going for these infest plays, running around, keep playing with this Doom Octarine, with how high the uptime of Doom is in comparison. You've got the Ags being worked on by mid one as well. So he's going to have the added cast range, the lower cooldown infest, and even the offensive infest if he does get jumped. So even just chain stunning this lifestealer might not be enough if he can still infest you and buy enough time for his team to join him anyway.
Very, very annoying, that's for sure. Strong performance from SMG so far for game 1. Blacklist Rivalry, like they were off to an amazing start, but they've kind of dropped the ball here. So top lane, there is a bit of a group up from SMG. Cuckoo's going to show on the creep wave for a moment, and they're going to smoke immediately knowing the Bat Rider's up here somewhere. Sadly for them, they won't have the opportunity to go after Raven because he's already left the building. But Cuckoo, no problem. Easy target for SMG.
You don't mind too much in Blacklist. Just sitting back, farming up, trying to work into these items to help you deal with this onslaught coming out from SMG. KP's trying to go for that Lotus Orb. You already have that forced up on Carl, working onto the full Hurricane Pike into BKB. And BKB timings are going to be pretty pivotal for them to find an opening here. You're going to need some lifesteal up on Raven as well, although he is going for the full Daedalus first into Hurricane Pike, so maybe just opting to, again, get some gap increase between him and the bodies of SMG. SMG, for their part, well, it's still a lifestealer with Desolator. It can still go into the Roche. It does get scouted by the Sunstrike at the very least, but
yeah, it does.
They are in a close enough distance to contest here.
Well, they are going to get away from now. No one will get the infest here from mid one. They want to go for the fight. They are feeling like the stronger team, and they are looking like the stronger team on top. All spells are up right now. The actual Spirit trying to scout them out. Roll in, mid one. He sees Carl, and in goes mid one with no one. The Invoker almost down. BKB up from no one to try and remain alive, but the lasso is there, and Raven, he's going to try and focus the Earth Spirit, and no one in the middle of all this cannot get away. Surely goes down, and he will. They took out Tim's, but he's going to buy back into this fight. In goes SMG again with another great stop from Arfu. Taking down Carl. Taking down KP. They'll even find Raven. What a stomp from Arfu.
It's just insane on this Elder Titan. He's always had a spectacular performance in this hero, and you can see what it does contribute in these fights. It looked pretty alright for Blacklist to kick things off, right? You isolate no one, you expend a lot of your spells to get that done though. And again, like the positioning, it just doesn't feel great right now. You're relying heavily on just force staffing away from this Lifestealer. You're trying to kite him around. You don't have anyone with a BKB outside of this Bat Rider, or outside of the Gyrocopter. So it's only Raven that can stand forward, and he doesn't have sustain. So even in a prolonged trade with Mid-1, he will always lose. Mid-1 will just manage to recover his HP. And they clean up the Aegis off the back of that. Ags for Mid-1 coming in soon. So again, longer cast range on Infest for saves, lower cooldown, Infest on enemy heroes if he's in a really dicey spot. And this Lifestealer is going to be really hard to pin down. Like, it almost feels like you want a Sight of Vice here on someone, just to have something to follow through from, say, a Blink Lasso from Cuckoo, because even one stun's not going to be enough, considering the durability of that Lifestealer. So we'll see if Blacklist finds a way to fix that up. But 6K lead for SMG, in a strong position in this first game for best of 5. And man, Mid-1 and No One have been doing so much work. On top of these supports, like all this movement from the Earth Spirit has been insane.
They have certainly been playing very well in conjunction with each other. Might just be a name thing between these two, but something about the one, Jonathan. It just means they are one. That's the trick to it. Mid-1. Tier 2 top tower. Not gonna last too long. They are around to defend. In fact, there's the lasso out, but the drag away is there. Cuckoo trying to help Mid-1. Meanwhile, does get the infest onto the Bat Rider. He's going into the base now, but Mid-1 takes down the Bat, looking for a bit more. In fact, he will retreat for now, but No One's right in. Look at this magnetize from No One. It just keeps refreshing. Drop the egg on their heads. Raven is going to BKB to try and get back to the fountain. But that's how confident SMG are right now. In fact, of all players, Mid-1 was the one to sit back, and Raven still goes down.
He got the Spirit Vessel running. Without Doom, he couldn't recover in the fountain.
Ouch.
Already on the racks.
Why not? 28 minutes in, SMG looking to take one racks out. Blacklist Rivalry, the ones that need to find a way to defend this. Luckily for them, No One only has 2 boulders right now, so he probably won't want to be too... Oh, I'd say he doesn't want to be aggressive. He just rolls right in. No One, can he get out, is now the question. The answer is yes. The pipe out from Massa keeps him safe. Tornado, they're going to try and set up. But without Raven around, like, do you really have damage? It doesn't seem like it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Went with full utility here for KP, with a Lotus Orb and a Pipe of Insight. So you just have no way of trying to melt down some of these softer targets. And there's an initiation problem right now for Blacklist. Like, they're relying so much on Cuckoo to get these big Blink Lassos off, but there's a lack of follow-up control. Like, if you can maybe perfectly land a Blink Lasso in with a lift back into your Starbreaker with a missile, maybe? But that's very convoluted and kind of trying to work it together. Only onto a single target swell. The team fight of SMG is just superior, which is rather interesting to say when you're up against Invoker, but there's only so much Carl can do right now with how little gold he has. Like, it's a long way off from him finding any more of this utility that the Invoker really needs to stand up here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
No, Massaros just the leading Cuckoo at the bottom lane. Meanwhile, No One on the other side of the map finding Tims. Magnetize immediately out of the Glimmer Cape is going to save Tims for now, though No One still having a hunt around. The TP away, but no, the Stomp. Fu is there again, and No One will be able to secure the kill on the Earth Spirit. And SMG, they look like they're prepped for another high ground attempt. They've still got the Aegis for a minute and a half. Why the hell not? They might just try it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I can stop them. I mean, how do you deal with Mid-1? How do you deal with No One? And there's just a lack of hard control, a lack of a way of breaking up this initiation from SMG. They're pretty much free to do what they want.
Well, Mid-1 getting disarmed for a moment. Won't mind too much, though, because he has the rage. One of the things you never forget about going up against Lifestealer is that rage when you're going high ground just makes it so impossible to stop him.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Now, a 16k advantage. 2 racks is up for SMG, 31 minutes in. And Blacklist, they just have not been able to find an answer. Like, you look back at Raven, he's still trying to finish the Daedalus. In fact, now he has finished it. But even with that up, it just... I don't think it's anywhere near enough damage yet.
Tower has fallen.
I don't think it's an issue of damage now. It's an issue of sustain for these fights. Because these fights will always go long. You still don't have a lifesteal up on Raven. And so that means mid one can always trade favorably up against a Gyrocopter if you can gap close, and you've got no one to help you with gap closing here. It's tricky. Mid one just stands forward. Oh, 4 staff though.
4 staff in, mid one. Does lose the first life. That's a start. That's very cheeky from Blacklist. Sunstrike out, but mid one's just going to casually walk away.
Radiant's bottom
That was Tim's 4 staff, by the way, for anyone wondering. Mid one, back in onto the bot racks. No one threatening, going past the tier 4 towers, pops the magnetize. With the BKB, he's feeling safe, but Cuckoo's going to drag him right into the fountain, but no, he's a bit too short. In comes Massa. They've got Raven. Raven, doomed up. He can't heal through this. Mid one will have to back off. He's got no secondary life. But they have got Megas. Or in fact, they don't. There's still a ranged racks in the mid lane that they have to go back for. But they have secured at least the bot lane of Barracks. So only a range racks does stand for Blacklist Rivalry here in game number 1. And SMG, they don't look like they're having the toughest time taking these racks. I mean, they might just go back very soon.
Oh, it's such aggressive gameplay coming out from SMG. And Blacklist, I mean, you do manage to save Raven in that engagement. That was down to Tim's getting this really clutch infest steal. Like, he infested Raven in the fountain. That he would not have had enough HP without that. Tim's keeping them in the game with that 4 staff play as well. I don't know if you can expect to do that any more times, though. Like, you should be ready now in mid one for that chain stun, for that chain control. And he loses Aegis. He's got the full AC up. So even at right-click damage from your gyro, it's not going to be enough for sure at this point. And you just need so many more items. You need to play in a very specific way for Blacklist. You might even be banking on some really cheeky fountain dragbacks with the lasso, if you can find that for Cuckoo.
I was very scared for a moment. The game froze for me again for about 2 seconds, but we're okay. We're still here. That's fine. Apparently I'm on 300 ping now to the SCA server, which is pretty standard for me.
It's Cuckoo's fault.
It is Cuckoo's fault. What can you do? Blacklist. Smoked up, but there's a counter smoke. SMG, they want to go for the fight. They want to put it into this game. Massa, he's found Tim's. He'll throw the Doom out on the Rubik. Meanwhile, Raven getting jumped by no one, but no one falling low, has to back away. But now mid one's in trouble. The Solar Guardian, it won't stun him up. Where is he? Mid one, he went into the Gyrocopter. Oh, this Aghanim Scepter makes it impossible to finish off mid one. And SMG, they've put it into this game. Game 1 to go the way of SMG quite convincingly. And I'll tell you, Blacklist, at the start of this game,